Hi, welcome everyone. This is Raj Barman, Acutrack CEO, and thank you for joining today's webinar. At Acutrack, we kind of believe that the more visibility on different marketplaces that you have is good for your growth of your business. And in our opinion, Etsy has been a little underutilized platform and marketplace. And for that reason, I'm super excited that we have Jahraus. She's an expert on Etsy, who will be sharing her insight about how Etsy could be utilized as a place for our self-publishing industry to grow their business. With that in mind, welcome Dylan, and I'd like to over to you to share and take it from here.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys. Awesome. Great to have you all here. I'd love to kind of hear where you're from, too. Let us know in the chat. I see California, Canada. Awesome. That's great. Yeah, let me know where you're from. I'm based in Las Vegas, Nevada, but I've been military, so we moved around a lot. But excited to talk to you guys about Etsy and to kind of make this kind of give you a clear understanding of what is possible for you and some clear steps so that after this, my goal is after this training today, you can get a shop open with a listing in it. And so great to have you all, Colorado, SoCal, North Carolina, awesome. All right, I'm gonna share my screen, and if at any point you want to take screenshots of this, totally fine. And I'll be giving you all a special gift and resource afterwards too, to make sure that you walk away with some really solid steps that you can refer to. All right, so let me share my screen here. Okay. Let's see. Okay, there we go. That looks okay, right, guys?
Yes.
Okay. Perfect. Perfect. So we'll be talking about how to launch your book on Etsy without any ads and no tech overwhelm. It's a really simple platform. You could actually get all of this launched today if you wanted to. Okay. And of course, if you have any urgent questions or things that pop into your mind while I'm going through this, feel free to just put it in the chat, or we'll have time for Q&A at the end, whatever works for you. But I want you to feel like you're getting your questions answered. All right, so if you are ready, you can actually get your Etsy shop launched today after this training, even if you have never used Etsy before. So I would love to just hear in the chat, has anyone shopped on Etsy? Does anyone know what Etsy is? Just give me a yes or a no. That would help kind of give me an understanding of your experience on the platform. Okay, so kind of mixed, yes or no. Well, if it's reassuring, I never shopped on Etsy.
My first item today.
What was that? You bought
Sorry,
something?
I was going to say I bought my first item today ever on Etsy.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Congrats.
So that was pretty cool. It's kind of.
Congrats. That's great. I see someone shopped twice. Yeah. So I actually never shopped on Etsy until I'd been selling on it for a few years. So it's totally okay to sell on Etsy, even if you're not an Etsy shopper. They have some of the most profitable customers on this platform. So keep that in mind. You don't need to be a shopper on Etsy to easily sell on the platform. Okay, and if we haven't met before, which we most likely haven't unless you watch a lot of YouTube videos, then my name is Jahraus. I've been in the e-commerce game for over 13 years. I started in corporate e-commerce, just so you can kind of understand where my background is coming from, where these strategies come from. So I worked for some big companies like Zappos and Zulily, and in the buying and product development side specifically. And then I started teaching Etsy only after I had made over $1 million in profit on the platform. So I started my shop, it was back in about 2016 when I started on Etsy, and made over $1 million in profit, about 1.7 million in revenue. Their fees aren't as bad as some other platforms, which we'll get into. But that's when I started teaching Etsy. We now have taught over 5,800 sellers. They make over 27 million a month on the platform, and they sell everything you can imagine, including books. We also have an SEO tool called Etsio, which is basically just a software you can connect to your shop to get your listings optimized. I also have 2 kids, 2 little boys, 4 and 8, and retired my husband from the military this year. after 15 years. And now we do this together. So that's just my background. Now let's talk about why Etsy, why this is a really big opportunity. First of all, Etsy is going to be a different type of customer than you might be getting in front of right now, which is a good thing. Ultimately, for your brand as an author, and just for your ranking in Google, and for many reasons, spreading yourself onto multiple platforms is going to be a positive thing for you as an author and as a business owner. It spreads the risk. It opens you up to new audiences, and the Etsy customer is very different than who you might be used to. So curious if you could put in the chat like your number one selling platform right now. I would love to hear that, whether it's Amazon or your website or wherever it is, just put it in the chat. But Etsy has a very different customer than Amazon. I also sold on Amazon and Shopify. And the Etsy customer, they are, I would say, a little bit more patient. Okay, they're not expecting same-day shipping. They are looking for something unique. And it's really, I would say, a gift-oriented audience. So a lot of times they're not purchasing for themselves, but they're purchasing for someone else. And I say that because that means that they type in to the search bar differently. So they search differently than Amazon customers. The person buying your book on Etsy is not going to be searching your name. They're not going to be searching your title. And that's a good thing because it exposes you then to people who wouldn't even know to look for your book or what your offer is. Your profit on Etsy is going to be higher. We typically see it's about twice as much as Amazon, which is huge. One big reason for that is there's no PPC required. You don't have to pay to play, and the fees are much lower. Another thing is with Etsy, you own your policies, which means you do not have to accept returns. You do not have to accept, refunds or things. Once people cancel, they can just, you own your policies as the seller. You also own all of your branding, which is a good thing. So it's that opportunity for you to show who you are as an author, maybe pictures of your family, give a little bit of the backstory of your brand, your personal brand, even if you wish. You can also link to many other places on your Etsy shop, like your Pinterest, like your website, like your blog. So it really will help. All of those backlinks, essentially, that's what they are. You can backlink within your listings, within your shop itself. It's going to help all of your different platforms rank higher in Google. So this is just like so many positives. I really believe there's no reason you shouldn't be on Etsy. If nothing else, like it's helping everything else rank higher. There's also a really high number of repeat customers and brand loyalty. So with Amazon, let's say you have one book on Amazon, and then let's say a couple years later, you launch another book. Well, all of those people who bought from you before, they're not like getting some notification saying, oh, so-and-so came out with another book, right? If you put another listing into your Amazon storefront, they're not getting that level of notification. But with Etsy, you're acquiring a customer and it's much easier to keep them. So the platform is phenomenal. If you have any questions about anything I said, just let me know. But let's talk about the types of books because you might have heard what I just said was people aren't searching your name and your title of your book here. It's a positioning play. And this is where we kind of want to put our marketing hats on and think your book, not from the author perspective, from the seller perspective, but from the buyer perspective. So I want you to think about a few things, and you could jot these down if that's helpful. But what solution are you providing for people? Is it entertainment? Is it solving a problem? Is it like, what is, let's say, the purpose of your book? What is the utility of your book? And even if it's like just a fun read or, entertainment, that's a purpose, like bringing joy to people. Who is the audience for your book? And I'm sure if you've gotten to this point, you have a book published, your customer avatar, who you're writing for. And so the best thing about Etsy is we're not just publishing a listing with your name and the title, because our goal with Etsy is for people who don't realize what you offer to find what you offer. And so it's going to be positioning it. There's a few different ways here, but journals do really well. Planners do really well. Children's books, any types of guides, workbooks. This is another thing. Books paired with additional resources are incredible. So some of you have dealt with, Amazon needs you to be the best price on Amazon. Well, if you combine it with a digital resource, like maybe a PDF download or something, suddenly we're packaging this differently. So it could be a digital product you're packaging this with, or maybe a bundle, maybe a journal with the book. There's so many things you could bundle together. I actually have some booksellers who I work with in the children's arena who do a book with a puppet, like a hand puppet, like a stuffy kind of hand puppet. We also have people who do like baby books, and they will pair them with like a frame or some kind of like a new mom checklist. So they'll do a lot of bundling. So books paired with additional resources, giftable books, anytime you can frame your book or position it in a giftable way, even like gift for a new mom, vacation gift for family, girls weekend, book club book. We're not calling it just the title. We're calling it something else. When are people reading it? Who's reading it? When would they gift it? Who are they gifting it to? Those are just 4 kind of categories for you to start thinking about. And books paired with services or communities. This is a big one. Does anyone here have a community for their readers? Maybe it's through a blog. Maybe it's a paid community. Maybe it's a free community. Maybe it's a service paired with it. Maybe you have like a book and then you also have coaching services or something on the side. Okay, I see. Okay, boaters are your audience. Great. You have a blog, Pat. Cool. Yeah, so it seems like some of you have YouTube channels. Perfect. So there's all these different things that you could start pairing with it. Like for YouTube, Brian, that's a good one. Just to use you as an example, if that's okay. You could have like a private YouTube channel or a private playlist maybe that people who purchase your book then get access to. So there's different ways we can increase your value proposition, but anytime you can pair it with either a service that you also have on the side or a community that you've fostered or a private blog, that's just another win. And Etsy sellers love this, or Etsy buyers love this. So now let's talk about launching your shop. Who here, just so I can gauge your interest, how interested are we in launching a shop? Are you like on the fence, or are you like, I know I'm going to do this. I'm motivated. I'm driven. I'm going to like make this happen this weekend. Brian's ready. Joanna's going to do it. Okay, Connie, Millie, yes. This is good. Okay, so let's make it simple. Navina's on the fence. Okay, so we have some convincing to do. That's okay. So we're going to break it down into 3 very simple steps: and opening your shop, creating your listing, and then driving free traffic. So I'm really big on free traffic because when you rely on ads, first of all, it eats into your profit margin. It I would say makes your business also less valuable. Organic traffic is always going to make it more valuable. It also gives you this baked in consistency when you get free organic traffic kind of built up. So we'll be kind of going over the process for that. Okay, so Brian, you opened it 9 months, got busy. Abraham's all in. Awesome. I see an integration you guys have with Etsy, right?
Yes, we do actually. Acutrack do integrate with Etsy as well.
Amazing. Perfect. So there's no excuses, right?
No.
Okay. So literally 15 minutes. You guys, if you are good at multitasking, you could open a shop during this training. Okay. I don't recommend that, but you could open it in 15 minutes. You just go to Etsy.com. You click sell on Etsy. You choose a name. Now this is key. You can just throw in a placeholder and change the name at any time. So easy. You can change the name real quick. If you are getting stuck on the name thing and that's kind of like stalling you out, throw in a placeholder. Your name would be a good one because the idea is we want you to rank high in Google. This is a multi-channel play here. This is about your brand. Etsy is a channel. So ultimately, we want, whether it's a brand that you have, maybe it's a personal brand, maybe it's your name, maybe it's a series that you have, that is what we want to use in the name because the name is going to rank high in Google. And then we're going to add a sample listing. So it seems like everyone has a book if we're here, I hope. So whether it's honestly, yeah, good. Got it. Good starting point. So you could list your book, one listing. Do not feel like, oh, I have to create this big launch. We're not doing some big launch. We're getting it published. Done is better than perfect. And we need people to start seeing you. So the sooner the better. Let's start with one. If you have a dozen books, just start with one. And they can be, I see a question from Donna, can they be ebooks or physical? Both. They could be both. And you could also do something where you combine them as a bundle. Maybe like if you buy the physical book, then you get the ebook included. That could be an idea. Or maybe you position them in different ways for different customers, but I have seen both work well. And then I see another question from Davina. Print on demand shirts and mugs, stuff sold right away, and then they shut it down. And then a couple of weeks they reopened it. Do they still do that? So Davina, luckily, since we've helped so many Etsy sellers, I actually have a CEO's email that handles things pretty quick if you have a problem. They don't really do that. That was a couple of years ago. Things were getting shut down on accident. Yeah. All right. So we choose the placeholder name or the name you want to go with. You add the sample listing. You're connecting your bank and your billing info. In order to launch the shop, you do have to connect your bank account. And the billing info is just for the listing fees, 20 cents, not bad. And then shop location, US is important. And I think most of you are in US or Canada, it looked like, so that's good. Okay. And then we talked about that placeholder listing. With that, you basically just threw up a picture and you could even write test. And then that is what you need to open the shop. So that's not like the real listing that's going to be selling because now we're going to go into optimization. Etsy just forces you to create a listing in order to open the shop. So a lot of people get stuck, I think, at that step because they overthink it and they think, well, gosh, I don't know how to proceed here. Just throw in a placeholder and then you can save it as a draft. So now you have a shop open, there's nothing in it, and we have one draft, the one book, one product to work with. And this is how Etsy is going to be very different. And I want to stretch your minds a little bit beyond what you might be used to. We are not just describing the product, the book. We're describing the purpose and utility. So we talked about who is this for? What situation would this be given in? What problem is it solving? And so these are going to become your long tail keywords. So yes, your name and the book title are in the title of this listing. But if you want to be found by new eyeballs, people who are ready to convert, we have to start adding in some keywords that are focused on purpose and utility. And you have 140 characters in that title to add in keywords. So I always recommend trying to get yourself to 8 long tail keywords. And a long tail keyword is just a phrase of 3 words that is focused on buyer intent. So that is what we want to start with for the title. That's at the top. And then go ahead with your book cover photo. I recommend, this is not Amazon, no white backgrounds, run away from white backgrounds. People want to see more lifestyle shots. They want to see how thick the book is. They want to see what does the back look like? What do the pages look like? The spine, like show everything you can about it. Show it in different scenarios. Is this like a poolside read? Is this like a beach read? Is this something that would be a coffee table book? It's beautiful and it would be on a coffee table or maybe in a nursery on a shelf. Maybe it's a kid's book. Or if it's a kid's book, how about little hands holding it? And this can be AI, totally can be AI. If you are needing help with AI, what I recommend is Kittl. I'm going to type it into the chat so you can actually see it, Kittl. And then you can actually, they have a feature, it's called Nano Banana. I'm going to put that there too. And it's Google's AI image generator. And you can say, hey, take my book cover and put it in some kid's hands, on a beanbag chair, whatever you want. And you can get these extra images there. Now, very important, books. People want reviews, right? Think about word of mouth and how important that is. Hey, this was a good book, because someone's investing their time. It's not just money, it's time. And time is the most valuable asset. So how do we convince someone that our book is worth reading when they're just scrolling through Etsy? Your reviews. And so part of Etsy photos, you have 20 photo spots, is throw in all the reviews you've ever had, screenshots, legitimate looking ones. Okay, so what I recommend is taking the actual screenshot of the review, even if it came in as an email. That's good if it looks like an email, because that's authentic. Do not copy and paste into some Canva template. That's going to look manufactured. So yes, Nano Banana is included in Kittl. Donna, yes, definitely. It's all included. So you sign up for Kittl, and then Nano Banana is a feature in that. And I think just even in social media, whatever kind of content you post or infographics that you need to make, Kittl is a great resource, and it's very affordable. You can, pay for it the month that you're using it and then cancel if you want to. So reviews, screenshots of reviews, of actual reviews from people who've read your book, or who you are as an author. Review photos. So if you sell on Amazon and you have a bunch of photos, people get the book and they take the picture, put your Amazon reviews on Etsy, screenshots. Also, about the author. We need to have something about the author in that listing. So there's 20 photo spots, and at least one, I would say 1 to 5 of those photos should end up being very tall and skinny. So Amazon requires very specific dimensions and everything for your photos, but Etsy, you can have all different sizes. And this is a good thing, because have 1 to 5 of those photos be tall, skinny photos where it's maybe a few images stacked. And then maybe it says something like the #1 read for summer 2026 or something like that. And this is going to become your Pinterest photo. We're going to talk about how to get traffic from Pinterest in a moment to your listings. But you do want some photos in this listing that are optimized for Pinterest. And again, I said we're using long tail keywords. And then this is a big thing. In the first 20 orders on your listings, we want to have a discount running. Now, it's kind of like your grand opening. So grand opening, it's like you're a frozen yogurt shop. Everyone gets, first 20 people get 2 ounces free or something like that. So discount, and you can see it says 24-hour sales. What does that mean? Can everyone hear me okay?
I think I'm good.
You're good, Raj? Okay. Okay, cool. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
So 24-hour sales. This is a huge part of Etsy that you should be leveraging. And so on your product page, you can put a discount on, and it will have a countdown timer if it's less than 24 hours. So what you'll do, I recommend for the first 30 days or 2 weeks at least, put on a 24-hour sale and whatever discount you're comfortable with. That way, every day there's a countdown timer on, and then anyone who favorites that listing will get a notification every time it's on sale in the future. So it's a huge, huge, huge benefit. It's how you get momentum, and it's what I call an aggressive pricing strategy only in the beginning to get your first 20 orders. Okay, so you have one listing up, you have long tail keywords, you have lifestyle photos, no white backgrounds, you have infographics, you've brought over any reviews from any other platform you've ever sold on, and you've really filled out the shop sections like about you, about the author. You've linked your website, really established yourself as an authority as an author. Okay. Now let's talk about the traffic, and then I want to make sure we have time for questions because most people, 99% of people, what they do is they publish that listing and then they wait. And that is the opposite of what we want to do. So everyone else, just think about it this way. All of your competitors, they are publishing the listing and they're waiting. We are not going to do that. We are going to pour gasoline on the fire. Okay. I'm impatient. I don't know if you guys are impatient, but I'm impatient. I want sales yesterday if I'm publishing a listing here. So we are going to focus on driving a little bit of extra traffic. So we're pouring the gasoline on the fire. We're going to blow this thing up in the best way. And how do we do that? I talked about Pinterest. Pinterest is free. Can everyone let me know, are they using Pinterest in the chat? Just say yes or no. Do you know how to use Pinterest? Is successfully. How about, let me clarify that. Successfully. Are you successfully using Pinterest? Who knows? Okay. That's fine. You're in the right place.
Mostly no.
Okay. That's good. No, it's helpful because so what we talked about was the long skinny photo with Pinterest. And you're simply going to go to pinterest.com if you don't have an account or if you want to start from scratch and download the Google Chrome extension. Google Chrome extension. That way you're on your Google Chrome browser, you've got the extension up, and you're simply pinning with that extension, and you're pinning the long skinny photos. Now, why do we want the tall skinny photos? Because everyone else on Pinterest has the same dimension of their photos, and they're taking up this, they're using the Canva template. It's this, everything looks the same, or they're using a square, which takes up smaller visual real estate. And we want a tall, skinny photo because that means that you are going to take up so much more space than all the competitors. Your click rate on that and your save rate is going to be so much higher. And it's because of the shape of your photo and how much visual real estate you're taking up. So you're basically like the tall person in the room, and then like everyone else is tiny. And so you're going to be noticed. So keep that in mind. And 15 minutes a day. Now with Pinterest, it seems like Pinterest might not be a comfortable space for some of us here, which is fine. But I want to kind of give you a good foundation for this. You're probably going to end up with between 20 and 50 Pinterest boards. Okay, Pinterest boards. And so we're titling them different things. Again, purpose and utility. So we're not titling it books. We're titling it vacation ideas, and then you're pinning your book to that. We're not titling it romantic novels. We are titling this like breakup or whatever it is, like divorce or something. I don't know. So you're thinking about your customer when you create these boards. Okay. So Pinterest. Now it doesn't work overnight. Okay. It takes a few months. So don't get panicky if you're not seeing results right away. But what you do on Pinterest today can help you a decade from now. What I did 10 years ago on Pinterest, I'm getting tons of traffic today from it, and it was free. Now, I see a question about the dimension. So I like a ratio of like 7 to 1. So like 7 by 1 if you're doing this on Canva. Now, for the impatient side of us, Facebook. Facebook is a gold mine, especially for people who read books. I will say the audience that reads versus just listens, a lot of them are on Facebook. And when we are posting in relevant groups where your audience lives, and we can get opinions from them on different things that might be related to our book, that's when we kind of start some engagement. So we're not putting links to our listings in there. That's like total spam. You'll get totally called out and booted. So we don't want that. People on Facebook can be mean, right? Facebook though, we want to look at the groups you're in. So let's say you sell parenting books, or if you want to throw in your genre, I can use you as an example. So like, what genre are you in? Let's say we were in parenting groups. Then I'm going to join homeschool mom groups. Yep. If my, homeschool mom groups, if my name is Tom and I'm a guy, I'm going to create a Facebook account called Tanya, and then I'm going to join those Facebook groups. Okay. Or I'll use my wife's account. So just keep that in mind. Like, use the groups that your audience is in. Make sure that you're accepted in everything. So if you need to use a spouse's account, that's fine. But keep that in mind. I once had a guy, it's funny, he was like a frat guy, super bro, and he was selling women's soap. And his name was Cole. And then he called himself Coley. He created a Facebook account, Coley, and then he was joining all these women's groups. Senior health and fitness, metafiction, emotional intelligence. Okay, perfect. Oh, the health and fitness, that's like prime right now with groups. There's so many accountability challenges and things that you could be joining. Mental health groups, tons of Facebook groups for that. So you are joining these groups, and your mentality should be, I'm trying to help people. I'm trying to help people. I'm trying to solve problems. So where relevant, have you heard of this? Have you heard of this book? Have you heard of this concept? And maybe it's a concept that you teach in your book. And then they say, no, like, what do you mean? And then you can DM them a link. But we're not putting our links all over the place. We're only being helpful to our audience and then directing them where appropriate. And then Instagram, so many people waste time on Instagram, you guys. Instagram is where we build customer loyalty. It's not usually for reach and building awareness. It's really for building and nurturing your audience, your current audience, not creating an audience from zero. So when you think about where you're going to spend your time on social media, are you going the long game? Everyone should be doing Pinterest. Or are you trying to get awareness, Facebook? Or are you trying to nurture an audience that you already have? And you're trying to increase the lifetime value of the customer. You're trying to increase repeat purchases. Then Instagram is a great place for that. Okay. People think Etsy is like where you sell crafts. Did anyone think that? Maybe it's okay. I'm not offended. People think like this is where I'm gonna like get yarn and make some like craft or something, and maybe you can make like a couple $100 like an online garage sale for crafts or something. Not at all. I want to show you just a couple things from to relate to the power of Etsy and the type of units you could be moving. When I was a buyer, we're thinking about planning and forecasting, sell through, turn. Maybe you're thinking of some of these metrics as you have inventory you're looking to move faster. And if you're thinking about, okay, how many units could that be? This person 0 to 58 units in a couple months. This person was like doing 350 a month, and then a year later, $1,000 a day. This person, like, she does some digital products too with a mix, but she does a lot of baby books, baby books like journals, more like journals, and with prompting in them. And she did over 24 grand. She more than doubled her stretch goal. So you can make decent money. Like I will say, you can make decent money. The margins, I would say it depends on one, the stage of the business you're at, what kind of margins you're at on Amazon. If you're selling on Amazon, your margins on Etsy could be 40% higher in general.
Nice.
Okay. So yeah, this is just to understand like the type of revenue you can make that is common. It's not out of the question. These customers are very profitable. It's not easy, right? It's a different way of positioning your product. So it's a learning curve on that front, but it's definitely worth it. And if you think you're like, oh, I need to be technical or try to be trendy, you definitely don't need to be. Books really can win. You don't need to be crafty. It's really about positioning. The technical side, if you can do Amazon, if you can do Shopify, you can absolutely do Etsy. It's so much easier. We've had 14-year-olds do this. We've had people in their upper 80s do Etsy. You can get your shop open right now, tonight. You could get a listing up tomorrow. So you could get like things moving in 24 hours. And we do have something to give you because I don't want you to leave empty-handed. So we have a workbook. Basically, it's access to a bundle of things that will be very helpful So all of this is going to be included, like optimization guide, calendar, a schedule. If you want to think, okay, how would things look if I was really wanting to get kind of full-time income from Etsy, a schedule for what that looks like, a product design checklist that honestly, if you're doing any work on covers, this is probably going to be very helpful for you too. And 5 more resources. So it all lives right in here. And I'm going to drop the link in the chat so you guys can use this. But everything is here. You just click on the resources and they all pop open. So I'll put that in the chat. But are there any questions that I can answer? Any questions? Let me put that here. Okay, so the link in the chat, by the way, you click on that and then it will prompt you to create a username or put your email in and create a password, but then it's all free. So you just create a username and password to access everything. Yeah, and it's totally free. Thanks to Acutrack.
Awesome. That was
Cool.
good.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, a couple other FAQs just in case. If you already sell on Amazon, just remember to not get dinged. You can always bundle it with another resource, and that way you're not up against their pricing requirements. It's going to be a lot higher margin. You don't have to have design or SEO skills. There's easy templates that we're including in this. Yeah, so I'm very passionate about Etsy.
Awesome, Joe.
Mhm.
That was amazing. Thank you so much. Sorry,
Yeah.
Roger, go ahead.
No, I just kind of what I'm hearing now, and I kind of when I come to Etsy, I'm always looking for something unique and different because to me, Amazon is a commodity, right? It's like so to me, I think what I'm hearing, Dylan, from you is if the same book could be bundled in a manner that makes it more special in some way, right? Something more value in either as a bundle or as a combination of the product, or I think that is the way, the key. Because personally, I think Etsy, when I go to Etsy quite a bit, but when I'm going there, I'm always looking, as you mentioned, that one should not get it typically from Amazon. The person who's getting a gift, they shouldn't feel like that I sent it from Amazon, right? I mean, Amazon is a
So
commodity.
you're looking for uniqueness. You're looking for
Unique-
something that stands out.
Yeah. So I think and I think that's what you are also emphasizing quite a bit. And I think one has to figure it out how to make this product more creative.
Yeah, so I mean, if you think
And well,
about
the cool thing about it is that.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
My signal's bad. Go ahead, Dylan.
Okay. But yeah, so something really easy you could do would also be does everyone here have like a lead magnet for their brand or just as an author to get people on your email list? You could even combine that freebie with the book, and that could be like the extra something. Or you could do like a guide. Maybe it's prompts of questions to be kind of guiding you through the book, or reflections, right?
Yeah.
Reflections on each chapter. And it's kind of like a little bonus that they're getting.
Yeah.
It can be digital. Yeah.
I was going to say that you can easily add something that is from the author, right? So something that's very unique that's not available on Amazon, because Amazon, when somebody buys a book on KDP, it's one book that gets shipped out.
Yeah.
And on Etsy, you can say, directly from the author, and then it has this, author's guide on how to read it, or what the author was thinking when he was writing it, or whatever it is that you guys are working on. Everybody has so many different types of books that they're working on, something specifically to what the content is that they can't find anywhere else.
Yeah. Oops.
There's a lot of questions here, Dylan. Let's go from the top, if that's okay. I think Joanna asked, Donna asked, is Instagram photos only or also videos?
Yes, so Instagram is videos as well. And actually videos are going to get a larger reach, so wider reach. And there's video posts, and then there's reels. And you're going to want to be doing reels. Now, with using Instagram, keep in mind, there's like each type of post has a different purpose. So a reel, the goal with a reel is to get reach. So you're using a trending audio. That's typically going to work best for you. Short clips short clips, like 3 seconds or less, so that they loop. And so then Instagram sees a 100% watch time on that. And then use your stories. And I think stories are so just underestimated. For me, when I was even starting my coaching business with Instagram, the stories are where people who are the hottest leads, the most interested people in what your product is, that's where they're watching. So pay attention to who is watching your stories. You can see the whole list and keep them engaged. Challenge yourself even, for a month. I'm going to go live on stories once a day. And if you have nothing to say, that's fine. Just take your morning coffee and just cheers people. And you don't need to even say anything. Yeah.
I think Brian had a question. How does it organically drive more attention?
Yes. So I'm curious, Brian, are you speaking about which platform, Etsy or Pinterest? Etsy. Okay. So Etsy ranks very high in Google. So the power of Etsy is when you are, well, there's so many things here, but when you have a shop on Etsy and someone, let's say the shop has something in the about section about the problems you've solved. Like, let's say I saw someone was doing boating. So let's say your about section of your shop is talking a lot about boating and recommendations and I honestly, I know like nothing about boating except for it's fun, right? But we're thinking about the keywords people would search, like top boats for 2026. So you're using keywords in your Etsy shop, and that means your Etsy shop is going to rank high in Google. So you're not just getting traffic from Etsy, which Etsy is its own search engine, but now you're also going to get funneled more from Google. So not to mention all the backlinks. So every single listing in your shop will have links within it. So in your description, you are linking other places. You're linking your blog, you're linking a freebie, you're linking other listings. And so you are it's like a confetti of backlinks all over your listings, your shop, and it's going to help all of those other links get more traffic as well and rank higher. So it's really an SEO play, kind of a holistic SEO play.
Additional SEO, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So we go down the list. There's a question from Pat. And that's for Acutrack. I'll ask you, Raj, how does Acutrack fulfill Etsy?
Well, we do we do have a third party like Shippo as a way of engine to integrate with it. We are currently supporting quite a few clients who are selling on Etsy as of now and fully automated the process of fulfillment for them. So same thing, if you are interested to take your store live, just reach out to us and we'll help you connect.
Thanks, Raj.
Yeah.
The next one is Diana. If I put my EPUB file on Etsy, can someone order it and download it? Dylan.
Yes. So EPUB, what exactly is that short for? Like an ebook?
I would think so,
I
yeah.
believe so. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So yes, you absolutely can do that. Definitely can do that. And I also forgot to mention, but if you do have questions, you can always email. Like if you have a specific product or you want to send over your Amazon listing, I forgot to mention this, but you can email us directly. And this is crazy, but we do work kind of like 7 days a week. So the email, if you have specific questions or you want to take a screenshot of this, I'm just going to put it on the screen. But yeah, you can absolutely put an ebook on Etsy. This is the email you'd email. Put in your link to your Amazon listings or your, if it's Shopify or wherever you have it, go ahead and put it there so we can take a look and give you some recommendations on how to reposition it. Okay.
That's very nice.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And if you guys didn't get that picture, you can send us an email and we can connect with you and send you her email address or that email address.
Cool.
Okay, the next question comes from Joanna. You said not to put reviews in Canva, that it would be wonky. How would you recommend displaying it? As I mentioned, I don't have my book on Amazon anymore, but I did take screenshots of all my reviews, so I have them to use. Thanks for your thoughts.
Perfect. So what you want to do, and let me get you a clear example. Let's see here. Let's take a look at an example. Okay, so what you don't want to do, well, this is actually Etsy reviews. So this is fine because you see how when someone leaves a review on Etsy, this is how it looks. So she's taking screenshots of the actual reviews and then putting them onto a screen. This is good. This is like a good thing. Now, what you don't want to do is go into Canva and like copy and paste that onto some slide, change the font, change the coloring. That will look so fake. Yeah.
So what you're saying,
Go
if I
ahead.
understood you correctly, Dylan, is that it has to look authentic. Just copy paste it. Don't add any sparkle to it.
Yeah, I wouldn't even paste anything. I would take screenshots and then see how she kind of collaged these on the one image. I would do that.
Got it.
Yep.
Perfect. All right. The next question comes from Will. This is from Will. What books does Etsy work best for? Is nonfiction viable? And is there any way to verify if competitors in a niche are currently selling successfully well on Etsy? It's a good question.
Yeah. Yeah. So with Amazon, there is software that shows you like how something is selling and it's accurate, right? Amazon's API is very different than Etsy's. And I only know this because we have a software company and trust me, we tried to get all the data we could. But Etsy actually is not public with revenue data behind listings. The one thing that they are public with is order volume. So units sold on a listing, you can get that data and you could get that by downloading something like Allura. And Allura is basically it has a Google Chrome extension where you go to Etsy, you click on a listing and it tells you how many orders on average per month. Now, the important thing is it tells you on average per month, which means if that listing has been up for 10 years, and it sold 100 units in the first month and then it never sold again, it spreads that out over the 10, like all those months. So it's not accurate like, wow, this is trending this month and it sold 100 times this month. It's not giving you that level of detail. So keep that in mind. But Allura, A-L-U-R-A, I'll put it in the chat, is a tool that gives you those estimates. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. It's interesting because when you talk about TikTok or Amazon, there are other tools that give you so much insight into the competitors' world. So it's interesting that Etsy's keeping that away from everybody else. Okay, the next question comes from Navina. Oh, question for Acutrack, Raj. Do they pay for integration to get Etsy? Is there an integration fee?
It says monthly membership fee. There's no monthly membership, but we generally charge one-time fee. But since we have this webinar and we have such, I think we're gonna try to give this integration literally maybe just, maybe we'll split a 50% on discount on it. We generally charge $400 on it. Let's make it a special.
Wow.
You guys open an Etsy store, we'll give a 50% discount and get you on board in next 3 weeks.
Dylan, you made that happen. That's cool.
Woo! Merry Christmas, everyone. Yeah.
You know this webinar is going, we're going to send it to everybody, right, Raj? So you said it.
This is exciting. I think it's going to be beneficial for everyone. I think it
so
seems
cool.
like a place to be.
That is super cool.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Let's go to the next one. Okay, Will, are there strategies for Etsy traffic that don't involve using social media? You mentioned organic, but does that need social media promotions to get it started?
Okay, so There are actually 12 different ways to get extra free traffic. Some of them are social media based, some of them are not. But outside of Etsy SEO, which we all know, like that's going to be people finding you on Etsy. So those are your keywords. People search on the search bar on Etsy and then they find you there. Outside of that, one thing I would say Pinterest, I consider Pinterest social media because I just bucket it in with that. But if you are like anti-social media, you don't want any social media accounts, you could pay a VA like $4 an hour to do your Pinterest for you. And it is so worth it. So Pinterest, I mean, it's not a social account. It is more like a posting, consider it like a posting platform. So I would try to convince you to do Pinterest personally, Will, because it's so easy and the payoff is huge. Like for me, I got more traffic from Pinterest than Etsy, if that means anything. And it took like much less time than any other efforts. Other things you could do are blogs. You could get traffic from blogs, LinkedIn, if you're comfortable with LinkedIn. You could do, if there's other communities like school communities or circle communities that you are in, you can drive traffic that way. So email marketing, of course, if you have an email list, there's ways to drive traffic that way as well. So yes, there is, but I was just giving you what the fastest working and most effective ones are.
I'd like to add to that, if that's okay, Dylan.
Yeah.
If you want to sell as many books as you can in your lifetime, social media is the way to do it. Social selling is really the future and it's starting today. So I would trying to stay away from social media. I think social media is your main focus right now. That should be what you're doing. And whether it's paying somebody to do it or doing it yourself, it's going to be worth it.
Amazing. Yeah. I feel like we're going to strong arm some people into this idea of social media.
All right. So the next question comes from Joanna. And she says, so you could copy the pictures of the reviews? The answer is yes.
Exactly. Yep. Screenshot. Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Okay. Pat, I'm on TikTok using Acutrack now, and you have lots of my books. All right. Okay, so then here's Joanna again. What happens if we want to sell other things with our books to make a cute package or something? Acutrack question. How do we get that combo arranged? Raj?
Well, what do you mean by cute? I guess the idea being is we end of the day print books. We obviously print other printed materials. Maybe if you want to make it more like some kind of a poster or or maybe sticker sheet, some of the simple things we can certainly add and bundle them together. But if someone, you mentioned, Dylan, if somebody is using some kind of a toy or a puppet or something to add something of that complex, then you have to send us those items and we can bundle them together. But a typical paper printed item, we can certainly produce it for you and make it as a combo package with the book.
And to add to that, Raj, if they wanted to create a cute package, as Johanna said, they can send us like the items that go with it, and we would do pre-kitting, and we would have it as an item, a SKU on the shelves, ready to ship out to Etsy, right? Whenever the order comes in.
That's exactly right.
Cool. All right. I think just a couple more questions, Dylan, because I want to be respectful of your time as well. Donna's asking, on Pinterest, do photos do better or videos, or should it be a mix of both?
Yeah, I would say videos do okay, but you could say as good as photos, but photos, I would say most consistently, because you can knock out so many Pinterest optimized photos and have like 4 to 5 per listing, whereas you can only have 1 video per listing. I recommend going in on photos. When you think about people scrolling, Pinterest specifically, they're on Pinterest used to looking at static images. It's not like TikTok. It's not like Instagram. They have not trained their audience to consume video content in that way at this point, and I don't foresee them doing that. So if you're going to emphasize one or the other, I would emphasize more photos.
Very cool. And then finally, I think this is the last question from Aaron. Do you help determine relevant keywords on Etsy?
Yes, yes. I have a software company called Etsio, and it's all about Etsy SEO, and it gives you the keywords. And actually, we gave you all a free optimized listing through Etsio, and that's part of the bundle. So you'll see when you log in with that link that we gave you, you'll see it says free optimized listing, and it gives you all the keywords, and you get it for free. So actually, now there's really no excuse not to post your book, because all you have to do is upload a picture of your book in this tool, and it publishes it to Etsy for you. So let's make it happen. And if you do, this is a big one. If you do publish your book on Etsy this weekend, post the listing, tag me on Instagram, because I want to give you a shout out, share it, get you some extra little boost of traffic in your launch. I would love to do that for you.
That's awesome.
This
Thank
is-
you, Dylan. Actually, I
Yeah.
had a question. My question was, at what point should they actually try to contact you to, enroll into your, I guess, coursework so you can help them increase their, marketability on Etsy?
Yeah, so what I would do is take the bundle that we gave you, get the shop open, get a listing up. Just get a listing up. And if you are getting stuck at any point, you can always reach out. I would send an email first, because what we do is it's not like we have one course, one option. We've actually put together over 400 custom options for people because everyone needs a different level of support. What we found, so it's not one option, one course. Everything is including personalized guidance with it. So we're actually showing you specifically what to do. It's not cookie cutter, generic advice. It's specific to you and your shop, your listings. But if you get stuck at any point, then just email us. And then if you need more help than what we can help you with over an email, we can always hop on a free call and see where you're getting stuck and put something custom together for you.
Fantastic. And I know there's other questions, guys. I do apologize, but we do have to, we kind of gone over the limit for Dylan here. So Dylan has to go. And what we would like to do, if you have any more questions, I think they have now access to you through this email, right? And
Yes.
they can ask directly and you guys can go from there. Other than that, thank you so much, Dylan. Thank you, Raj. Thank you, everybody else who joined. Really do appreciate you coming to this, latest installment of the Acutrack webinar. And we'll see you on the next one.
Thank you, Dylan, so much for your time today.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. All
Thank
right.
you.
Take care, everyone. Bye.
Bye-bye.